Tamil Nadu Madras High Court and Karnataka High Court. Jai Bhim is not the first story. Myself and my brother have seen several Jai Bhims in courts. As lawyers, as judges, we have conducted a number of cases relating to human rights. Many times success, sometimes failure, giving us more experience in handling human rights issues. Even after retirement, we have not taken any other position except work for the common people, and the issue of human rights is dear to us. It is one such occasion I told the director of this film that why don't you take a film of one of my case. The case took place 28 days ago, and then I also wrote in some magazines about this story. But today many people don't read. Even when Manava Agagalu is now released, people are reluctant to buy the print media, and the printed letters are gone of the olden days. Today the important media is the visual media, and Jai Bhim is a proof that how much a visual media can create impact in the society. From Madras to Bengaluru, there are a number of trains, there are a number of aircrafts coming, but today or the last few weeks, I don't take any train or aircraft. I have got a Aladdin magic lamp. I will rub it and say Jai Bhim, and it will take me to all places. I have been traveling all over, from Patna, Calcutta, Delhi, Kannur, Kochi. Last night I was in Visakhapatnam. Even the organized bar, Vesavada Bar Association, had a meeting. We are all never invited in bar meetings because we were always considered the rebels. But now Jai Bhim, cutting across language, cutting across territories, every mouth is mouthing Jai Bhim. When somebody sees me, he is Jai Bhim Chandru only. I am happy. A slogan which was invented to welcome Baba Sahib Ambedkar, Jai Bhima Rao. That slogan is not only for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. The entire people of India are now saying Jai Bhim. To the extent the movie makers, the director of the film must thank. Originally they had ideas of giving some other title. But the day they choose Jai Bhim as a title for the film, that was the greatest success of this film. More than the acting, more than the story, more than the screenplay, more than the four dialogue, the two words Jai Bhim is now being said everywhere. And that is how Jai Bhim, I am standing before you as Jai Bhim Chandru. Now what is the human right has got to do with this film? There are human right violations even before, even afterwards. It is not one story of Raja Kandu and Sengeni changed the society. It is one sad story. Raja Kandu died in police lockup. They belong to a tribal family. And Sengeni took the path of seeking justice. And then there came the story of Jai Bhim. Now when this story was written, there were hundreds of stories. You open any law book, so many human rights violations are taking place day in and day out. It is not as if it is the first time. What is the difference in this film? What is the difference that the film was brought to us? Now human rights violations. It is not something new today. Even before the Constitution was written, where Article 21, right to liberty, guarantees the right to freedom, right to liberty, right to livelihood, right to have peaceful life, right to be protected from liberty being deprived except by law. All these is there written there. But we see from 1915, there have been hundreds of violations. There are courts to take care of it. There are human rights commissions have now come in. There are also other forums where you can complain. There are hundreds and hundreds of human rights forums in this country. But still, the lockup deaths, encounter deaths, lockup torture, third degree torture, pre-trial accused being detained for more than necessary goes on. You would have read yesterday in the papers, Comrade Sudha Bharadwaj. She was released after 3 years, not after a trial. Even for getting bail, somebody has to be in jail for all the time. Justice Krishna here, he once wrote, bail is the rule, jail is the exception. But nowadays, most of our judges think jail is the rule and bail is the exception. This is the sorry state of affairs that after 71 years of our constitution, the judges are yet to understand what is the human right of the common people of this country. In fact, I would only appeal to Brother Nag Mohan Das, this book should be given to all the High Court judges and Supreme Court judges. Because common people know, they are the sufferers. They need not need all these things to know how much they are suffering. You need not tell how Raja Kanu was killed. But the point is how to protect system from the state aggression, how to protect the innocent people from the police atrocities. That is the issue. And the same way, when we talk about Dr. Ambedkar, we talk about on his death anniversary, we talk about his birth anniversary, we talk about several times Dr. Ambedkar. Now, people are saying how much Ambedkar is shown in this film. This is one discussion. That's a wishful thinking. But this movie has got a greater image that the people themselves organize into a Yurula Protection Society. They have a banner, they have a demand, they have a placard, they are led in the streets. The movie tries to say it is not individual heroism, it is not one court verdict, it is the strongest friend of the tribe is their own organization. So the film only shows what has been said all along. Unless the people organize themselves into a movement, organize themselves into an organization and have their own demands, these things will not come down. They may have 1,000 demands. Voter card, house pattas, Aadhaar card, or caste certificate. Caste certificate is also another issue. Today, a scheduled caste cannot go to the police station and say, the landlord beat me, or the vested interest upper caste person beat me. First, the policeman will say, where is your caste certificate? And you will have to bribe the Tahsildar 5,000 rupees to give a complaint why I should get Tahsildar certificate for 5,000 rupees. It is a matter of right they are entitled to get caste certificate. One good thing about the tribes is that they do not have this abuse as one of the offense. They have no caste system. They are tribes and they continue to be tribes. But whereas for scheduled caste, your community certificate becomes important, even to give a police complaint. Otherwise, it is not a SC offense. Otherwise, the procedure under the SC offense will not go for them. So, at every time, they are at the mercy of the government officials. Now, when the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu saw this, he wrote a letter to the production team. He said, if there is going to be a honest police officer and a courageous lawyer and a judge with integrity, this kind of injustice may come down. But he also said that our planning process so far ignored them. We will now focus on their livelihood and to see that they are also brought into the system. On the Diwali day, he went and spent whole day with the people. And then started taking all the revenue officers, started giving them community certificate, house pattas, land pattas, and we also have feast with them. And that is something new. It is not election gimmick. One film can change it. His radar is now changed. The next day, he sent a circular to all the district magistrates, the district collectors, saying that I want all the details of the Adivasis in the state. We are having 1% of the population, which is almost like 8 lakhs. It can find out within 3 months, they can find out how much the government program has gone to them. Why is that they are living in a third part of the village? Why is that no scheme of the government has ever gone to them? Why is that Sekeni and her husband has to live in a life of bonded labor? Because no government scheme ever went to them. They are not a vote bank. Their votes can never get them any relief to them. And therefore this film made the government to make a small change. The production company gave 1 crore rupees to the people. Maybe a small help. But it nevertheless helped. Today everybody talks about tribals. Many youngsters wrote to me saying that we are guilty that we do not know such people are living amongst us. Many in this country will go to Andaman and Nicobar to find out the tribes. Why they are living among us? Why don't you take some car and go to some neighboring rural areas? You can find the tribals. When the people were catching rats, for the first time everybody was looking with very awe. We cannot catch a rat, but they can catch a rat. What is that they are trying to say? It is not something funny. A rat eats grain. A snake eats a rat. They protect the snake and they kill the rat. That is the theme. They live with society. They live in harmony. They live in ecological balance. And then today we have a law which drives them out of the forest. When British brought Forest Act to this country, people thought forests will be saved. But forests have to be saved from forest rangers, not from the tribal people. Tribal people are protecting the forest. But the new law passed by the parliament is driving them out of the society. Every reserve forest, nobody is allowed. Now we have more problems. They do not come under the planning process of this country. Plans are made for somebody else, not for the poor people or the tribal people. And therefore this film also shows a further limit. When the woman comes to court, she puts her left hand thumb impression. She is an unlettered person. She is not educated formally. When her daughter Ali in the end reads a newspaper, what does that symbolize? She sits very comfortably in the office of the lawyer and reads. And the lawyer for the first time also smiles. That is also indicator that I was always a moody person. Once in a while it's fine. Therefore they are trying to show that in the film. But nevertheless, the lawyer smiles because the girl reads the newspaper. It is literacy. Literacy will liberate any society. In fact, in Mohini Jain case, which went from Karnataka, Justice Kuldeep Singh wrote that Article 21 protects livelihood. Livelihood does not mean animal existence. How does the animal existence cease to be an animal existence? How does a person who lived honorably? It is only by literacy. He said, right to education is a fundamental right because it alone can make people not an animal, but more than an animal. It may give a dignified living. He also said, if Article 21 has to have any meaning, we should give education to all the people in this country. This is what Dr. Ambedkar said. Learn, educate, agitate. That is the movie. The only liberation ideology for the Dalits of this country or the Adivasis of this country is education. And therefore it is in that sense, the film had a great impact. It had the message of Dr. Ambedkar, learn, educate, agitate, and we will say Jai Bhim.
ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ವಿಡಿಯೋಗಳಿಗೆ ಪ್ರತಿಧ್ವನಿ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಚಾನೆಲ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಬೆಲ್ ಐಕಾನ್ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ.